Hey guys, welcome back to Medical Coding with Blue. Today's episode is all about medical coding exam preparation study tips. If you are brand new to my channel, welcome. I am Blue, I'm a medical coder. Today's episode is dedicated to those that are studying for their medical coding certification, whether it is the CCS, the CCA, the Ccs-P, or even the CPC. I am talking to all of you. If you are going for your certification for the diploma designations, the RHIA or the RHIT, it's a little out of my wheelhouse, but of course these can apply to everybody. So let us begin. Okay, it is the season for people to be taking their certification exams. And how do I know? Because I get emails all the time lately. Blue, I'm about to study for my certification exam. How long should I study? How long did you study? What are some of the things that I should study? What should I do? So first and foremost, everybody is different when it comes to how they study. I have always recommended that if you are finishing up your program and you are studying for your certification exam, to take it as soon as possible, at least within the first 30 days. So that way, everything that you have studied can stay fresh in your mind and you have a higher chance of passing your certification exam when you have all of it fresh in your memory and you don't have time to think about it. Okay, so earliest is 30 days at least. The longest it should be no more than 90 days, guys. The longer you get out of your program, the more you're likely to forget things, all right? The other thing is, depending on how fast your medical coding program is, you may need that full 90 days after you've gotten out of your program to be able to catch up on everything that you need to know. Now, I will tell you guys this before anything else. When it comes to studying for your certification exam, do not take any part of it lightly. If you are struggling with medical terminology, if you're struggling with anatomy, this is not something that you can just, oh, well, I only know a little bit, so I'm going to slide by with what I know. If you know you are struggling with medical terminology and anatomy, then you really do need to buckle down on that and study that a little bit more. Don't think that just because, oh, well, I can just kind of get through it and skate through it, but as long as I get the coding right. If you don't understand the terms and the location and the body parts, you're not going to understand the coding. It's a marriage. It works hand in hand. So that's why I say don't neglect anything. There are tons of really good videos out there on YouTube. I have had so many of them listed in the community tab several times about the YouTube channels that I recommend for studying anatomy and medical terminology, all right? So there are alternatives. It's not just reading from a book, even though I will tell you guys that I am a big fan of flashcards. And when you're studying for your certification exams, all the certification exams have a list of all the domains or the topics that are covered on those exams, whether you're taking a certification exam with AHIMA, the American Health Information Management Association, or with the American Academy of Professional Coders, AAPC. Both of them list the domains on their website for the respective medical coding certifications that they offer. So you can start there, so that way you can really know what to focus and really drive home to yourself on. Because when you're looking at these certification exams, they say a lot and they say different things, right? So if you're taking the CCA or the CCS, that is going to be covering both the inpatient setting and the outpatient setting. So you have to be able to know about the CPT book and the ICD-10 PCS manual as well. So along with all the diagnosis coding, you have to make sure you can keep those rules straight and know what's the rules for the outpatient setting, what are the rules for the inpatient setting. If you are taking the CCS-P or even the CPC, this is all on the outpatient side. So you don't have to worry about the inpatient side of the house. You don't have to worry about ICD-10 PCS. Your main focus, if you're taking one of those certifications, is going to be in the outpatient setting. So really based on which certification you're going to be sitting for, that is where you want to focus all of your energy. And in the meantime, you still need to work on your medical terminology and anatomy, because again, those go hand in hand with the coding, okay? And the thing that I can say is this. If you hear anything that I say tonight, please hear this. Do not get dependent on your exam preparation manuals, right? They have them for, HEMA has them all for all of the certifications they offer. The same with AAPC. They all have their study prep guides and exam prep manuals and things like that. Do not get dependent on those guides. They are literally meant to practice. This is not what is going to be on the exam specifically. What these exam prep books are designed for is to get you in the mode, right? Get you in that thinking, or give you that certain set of questions so that you can go through that test exam, whole mock exam yourself. And so that way you can test your speed, and you can try to get better with looking at a scenario and getting through it much more quickly. That is what they are designed for. So many times people have become so dependent on those exam books and said, Blue, I did really good on the exam prep book, but I didn't do so well on the exam. Guys, it's not meant to be what the actual exam is. It's meant to go through those motions like you are sitting in the exam room, so that you can, have that certain amount of questions, so that you can have that time, so that you can pace yourself. The thing about studying is this: getting familiar with your manuals, whatever manuals you have to use for your certification exam. Make sure that you are physically going through each and every single page. Now, people try to dismiss me when I'm talking about my tips to give to you guys. Guys, I've been through this exam process twice, and I've passed twice the first try. So what I'm telling you is supposed to help you and set you up for success. If you don't want to do it, that's entirely up to you. But I'm sharing with you what made me successful. If you think that you can go about it another way or skate around it this other way, if it works for you, great. If not, if you've tried it your way and you haven't done so well, and now you're taking a second run at it, maybe try a different approach, okay? So getting familiar with the books themselves is going to really help you. Some people have taken the time to tab all of their books, right? If the association that you're going to sit with allows for tabbing, HEMA is very picky about tabbing. The tabs have had to come with the book. With AAPC, they love to tab their books. All right, some people feel like they can't live without those tabs. They have to have those tabs to be able to get through the book quickly. If you are going through the practices, if you are really doing the time to exercise in the book, you aren't going to need the tabs. The tabs are going to get in your way. So that is something that I will say, and I will say this all the time. When I came up, those books had to be clean, okay? So it's about seeing the tool that you have in front of you, this book, being familiar with the book. You don't have to read the entire thing, but open it up and flip and look at every single page. When I was doing demonstrations of the Optum 360 coding books that I have, which I recommend Optum 360, this is not an ad for them, but I do love their books. When I was doing a demonstration on YouTube about these books, I got emails from people telling me, oh, I didn't know that was back there in the book, or I didn't know, or I didn't pay attention to that. You have to know what you're working with. And I have heard that there are people who've had open book tests and still can't pass because they were not familiar with their book. Get familiar with these books, guys. Take the time to look at each page. Like I said, I'm going to keep repeating it, yes. But look at each page. So that way in your brain is recording everything that's happening, whether you know it or not, right? And when you're looking and you're thinking back, oh, I saw that somewhere. Your brain can be like, yes, we saw it in the book. And so that's when you can start flipping to wherever it was that you can kind of remember that you saw it. So just taking the time to do that on a Saturday that you have all day to be looking at your books, but you're doing something else or you're perhaps getting distracted. Guys, studying for your medical coding certification exams is only for a short amount of time. It's not forever, okay? So you really do have to carve out that time. You've got to make this a priority if you want to do well on this exam. The key to passing this exam is being able to focus and being able to get through that book and that exam expediently so that you can, you know, be ready for your future. You know, that's the thing. That's the whole key about it. But taking the time to go through those things. Use flashcards. For the things that you don't remember, use flashcards. People try to get away with using apps. I am not an app person. I have never been into apps. My videos are very low tech. As you can tell, I do not edit my videos. I do not have all that fancy stuff on my videos because I'm low tech. It's just me talking to you guys. And I'm giving you guys really good information. I don't need to dress it up. Okay? So that's the thing about it. When you are going through and writing stuff down, it commits stuff better to memory. And it doesn't matter what certification exam that you're taking. I recommend this for any certification exam. All right. If you're looking at sites like CMS, I always tell you guys to look at. They have frequently asked questions. They have the Medicare Learning Network, which can really help you to better understand parts of medical coding and parts of HIPAA and the OIG and all of these things. And write down those things that you don't know. Write down some of the things that you think you need to jog in your memory that you didn't quite recall when you were in your program. So that way you can start to commit those to memory. Write them down. Guys, write them down on a flashcard. That way you have time. And flashcards are wonderful and they're portable and you can take them anywhere. You have downtime anytime, whether you're at work or you know, you're on a break, you can whip out those flashcards and work with those flashcards. And if it's for medical terminology, that's great. If you're looking at your book and getting familiar, at least you know where you can find anatomy plates. That's one really great thing about Optum 360 coding books that I love. Yes, I'm sure that there's illustrations in the other publishers' books, but from what I know with Optum, huge fan of Optum, they do have wonderful illustrations in their books. So when you are not really strong in anatomy, you at least know where you can look in the book to kind of get you, okay, this is where this is where this is, or this is where that is. So that is something that should be able to help you. Use sites like justcoding.com. I've talked about Just Coding a lot of times and recommended it so many times. This is not an ad for Just Coding, but they do have a free subscription and a paid subscription. And on the free subscription, they give you access to 5-question coding quizzes, the diagnosis coding, the inpatient ICD-10 PCS procedure coding, and the CPT procedure coding. So you have multiple choice, yes, but covering up those answers and looking in your book so that way you can just look at the question, look up the answer in your book, and see if your answer matches one of those. And that way you can get good practice that way. Because if you're looking at it in multiple choice and you're just doing process of elimination, you're not really learning, right? You need to practice looking up codes in the book, because getting through the book quicker and understanding these things now before you go in for your exam is really going to help you. But again, getting on a schedule. You have to get on a schedule. And that is not just my recommendation, but the recommendation of a doctor that I follow, Dr. Antonio Webb, who is an orthopedic surgeon in San Antonio. I have the link to his channel in the description box. But he talks about his study tips when he was in medical school. Now, I've always said medical coders have to know what a doctor knows while never having gone to medical school. We have to be able to read and we have to be able to understand what is happening in this documentation. So that is something to think about when you're studying. Listen to people like Dr. Webb, who have suggested getting on a schedule as well. A lot of the things that he suggests about studying, I have suggested about studying. So that is really great when you think about it, because that's good study habits. These are very good study habits to get in. They're old-fashioned, but they are the thing that can really help you, especially if what you're doing is not working, okay? You have to be real about it. You have to be accepting of, okay, well, maybe what I'm doing is not working, so let me try it another way. Reading the coding guidelines. I've said it many times. when you read your ICD-10 CM official guidelines for coding and reporting, read them once per week in their entirety. If you can't read them all in one sitting, it's okay. Break them down into sections, read a few pages at a time, and so that way you can keep reviewing it. It's not going to make sense. It's not supposed to make sense, and you're not supposed to memorize this stuff either. But the simple act of reviewing and repeating, that is what is going to help set you up for success. Because again, when you actually get into the situation where you have to apply those guidelines, it's going to click because, oh yeah, I saw that. By the way, where did I see it? I saw it in the guidelines, and you'll know right where to go. People who have invested time reviewing the books are the ones who are able to be quicker with the book. So that is something that I will say. If you learn differently, that's great, but this is the advice that I'm giving everybody, because this is what I have gone through. This is what has helped me. So I hope it helps you guys. I mean, at the end of the day, these tests are covering a wide range of things, and you have to know a lot of things when you're taking this exam, yes. But the information that is out there on the association websites themselves about the exam is supposed to set you up for success, right? But you also have to do your part, because it's letting you know, hey, this is what the range is. This is what we're going to be testing you on. But it is your responsibility to go and review the things, especially things that you didn't feel confident on. If you feel like you're taking too much time, then you need to look at ways to pick up the pace. So that way that you can get through the exam in a good amount of time, all right? So that you can complete your test. If you find that you are getting stuck and you really don't understand, reach out, try to find a mentor with your association, reach out on LinkedIn. There's a lot of people that are always willing to volunteer their time on LinkedIn, it seems. And if you absolutely get stuck and you need a tutor, LinkedIn has tons of tutors, and I am a tutor myself. My rates will be in the description box below if you are wanting to set something like that up. So that is my advice, guys. Review the books. Go over your workbooks, everything that you had in school, everything that you went through. Don't wait forever when it comes to sitting for your certification exam. Sometimes you are more ready than you know. Take the time to really look at those books, at all of the books, so that way you can be familiar, you know where to flip to things, you know what the appendixes cover, you know where to find your anatomy plates, all right? And work on your medical terminology. There's tons of YouTube videos out there about medical terminology that are very helpful. Lots of really good anatomy ones that I have recommended before as well. So if you haven't had a chance to subscribe, I hope you do, because I'm always giving out really good information, helpful study tips. And if you're looking for more, guys, please take the time to look through my videos, because if you write me and ask me what are my study tips, I'm more than likely going to send you a video that I've already done, because pretty much every topic that could be asked for, I've covered it at some point or another. So please take the time, look through the little spyglass and check out all of my videos, scroll through there and see if there's something that can answer your question. All right, so please like, subscribe, share, and I will see y'all on the next episode. Bye.